Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Women's Wisdom Circle. And I'm welcoming Anaïs, who is the first time joining us live and brave in the green room. And I know there probably will be quite a number of other people listening on the YouTube that will not be as brave as Anaïs to join the room with us. So let me just briefly introduce what the Women's Wisdom Circle is for the ones that will be listening for the first time and maybe listening in on the YouTube channel. So the Women's Wisdom Circle is a group of women that has been coming together every 2 weeks, monthly, most of the time twice a month, sometimes not always as frequently. And it was created in April of this year, after I came back from a trip to Pakistan and realizing that there are so many issues in the world that I have no answers for. I certainly cannot figure it out by myself, and thinking that if we come together and start to talk amongst women on using a space of collaboration and co-creation and seeing what is emerging of the space. It's like it's not there is no planned topic. It really is based on what is emerging through the collective space of co-creation amongst us, which is very much like a feminine approach to handling things. It's not linear, it is very circular. And we have spent quite a number of weeks looking at healing the wounded feminine. We looked at that aspect. We have done also we had a challenge in the summer where we took radical self-care challenge, where we really focused on taking care of ourselves rather than being the caregivers of everybody else and not and us being the last ones. And lately what has been emerging in the conversation is there is a new form of leadership where really there is no competition amongst us. There is really only collaboration, and the space of co-listening to each other is allowing something to emerge through the interconnected space that would not necessarily come to each of our own awareness. So it's an allowing of what wants to emerge. And for this first call of the year 2016, I thought it would be nice to come together and see what we want to create in the year, what we want to individually, yeah, of course, and this could give ideas to the collective on, oh, I didn't think of that. Maybe this is also something I would like to tag along with. So that's my intention. What we are grateful for, we talked about that in December, in that last call in December. And usually when we start the calls, we have a small guided meditation, like a space of connection and centering. And I will guide us through that space right now so that we can then listen in to what wants to emerge in that collective space, and whoever wants to speak is welcome to just take the microphone and speak. This is not about anything very much planned. So just taking a moment to close your eyes, if you're comfortable closing your eyes in the room. And taking a few deep breaths. Deep breath in, followed by the full out breath. One more deep breath in. Complete exhale. And one last deep breath in. And when you exhale, place your attention at your feet and connect yourself to an imaginary pair of roots, grounding you to the center of the earth. Really connecting to that larger field of life, and starting with our connection to the earth. And as you keep on breathing at your normal rhythm, just allow the energy of the earth through the breath to move in to your body, helping you get grounded, connected, centered. This is also a very healing energy. So if there are areas in your body that need to be relaxed, you can use that energy to focus it in that area of your body. And just imagine that this energy is filling your whole physical body now, and consciously take another deep in-breath. And this time when you exhale, just focus about a foot above your head and connect with the other point of connection, the universal life force, the energy of the universe, the cosmic energies all around us. And imagine a ray of light coming down from the top of your head and moving into your body. Imagine like a column of light connecting the top of your head, above, even from above, to the center of the earth. And imagine that column of light somewhere between your spine and your heart. That backbone of light that connects us to who we really are, that soul connection, that deeper part of who we are. And in that state of connection to the larger field of life, below and above, take a moment now to consciously connect to the circle of women all around the world that are participating in this Women's Wisdom Circle. They might not be present in the room, they might be listening right now on YouTube, or they might be listening in later. And just imagine that we are connected in that circle, and you could extend a virtual hand of energy to the right hand, sending energy into the circle to the right hand, and receiving energy to the left hand. Just connecting to that circle, to the wisdom present in that space. And allowing what wants to emerge through you to get crystallized. This is a new year, and a very powerful year ahead. I can sense some very profound energies already in my life, and I've heard this from so many people this week. Apparently this is a year of completion. This is also the time, tomorrow is the new moon in Capricorn, to set intentions for the year, to consciously create intentions of the direction we want to give to our life. So using a moment to connect to what wants to emerge through you, that you want to give form to during the year, and start to connect to on this new moon. And taking another deep breath, gradually reconnecting to the physical place where you are sitting, in the part of the world where you are located right now. Taking another deep breath, perhaps moving your body a little bit, reconnecting with your physical envelope. And taking another deep breath. And whenever you're ready, coming back to normal consciousness and opening your eyes and being present in the room. I will start by sharing what has been emerging for me during this last week. I have spent almost the last week, I was very quiet on New Year's Eve and did not do anything, was really like sitting in, being with myself, by myself, and really cherishing the quiet time. And there's three intentions that emerged, and I don't know whether those intentions will manifest, but it doesn't matter. It's still something that I want to do and I want to give my energy to. One, the theme that has emerged for me for 2016 is engagement. I want to be more engaged with people and not think that because I haven't gotten everything ready, everything is not the way it should be, comparing myself, finished comparing myself. That's really something that I'm done with. I want to be able to engage more in writing, in speaking, in just being present with more people. And the other thing that is really emerged as so important is to really keep on taking care of my health. I am in top shape, and I have really created over the last health habits, which are really serving me, and I'm realizing how important it is to maintain it. And there are a few things that I want to tweak in terms of becoming more conscious about certain areas in terms of food, experimenting maybe more with raw food. It's something that suits me, I've noticed, and I haven't made any efforts. And the other thing that I need to put into practice is how to give myself a structure to manifest all those things. So just before we started the live broadcast, I was chatting with Anais, who's joining us for the first time today, and I was sharing how my whole week has been a week of planning in 1 week, what it will probably take me the rest of the year to do. And for the very first time, not feeling like I am defeated already after the first week. It's like, okay, this is what it is. This is your tendency to kind of plan too much and think you have to get everything done in that particular time period that you had allocated for it. And if you didn't, that's okay. It's okay. You just keep on refining it next month and next month. So that's what has been emerging for me. And welcome, Aileen from the UK. I'm glad you could make it. You could join us. And all those people on pictures, so nobody is brave enough to show their live face. Aileen has gone. Maybe she has some difficulty with her connection. That's possible also, because she's usually not shy at all, in terms of showing up. So I want to invite you to chime in the conversation. And Heidi, go ahead. You're raising your hand, so go ahead. Heidi is in Italy.
Actually, Hugh was raising the hand as well.
It's our companion, the companion to the Women's Wisdom Circle. You can also say something, Mark, if you want.
This is our evening situation that we sit on the sofa and enjoy the evening. Okay.
Hello, Fiona. Fiona has also joined us. Okay.
Good. So we are sitting in Italy. And what you said about this year, what to me comes very clear that I finally need to do the step to go out and to. I'm working very hard on the course we are creating to offer after our next series, which is about relationships. And I have worked quite hard to get it in place, and it starts next week on Friday. So Friday is not a good day anymore for me if you want to set up. And we will talk about relationships and have wonderful guests. So I feel for the first time more confident that all this goes right, and that afterwards I can also give out our course and finally earn a little bit of money, because since I have left my teaching, my voice teaching, I'm sort of
dependent on me.
Yeah, let's say that. Yeah, but I really would like to, all these years which I have learned, and I've learned a lot, and we have known each other by learning many things, that they get a sort of a recognition financially. This is my big goal for this year. Apart from doing all the work to get out, heightened consciousness. During Christmas I have done every day for 10 days public singing. I have sung the songs and have invited people to sing their songs on Blab. That's another streaming platform. So a part of doing all that for the world, I thought, and you talked about self-care, and a little bit I have to do also something for myself, and not only giving everything for free for others to learn. So this is my big
Yes.
idea.
Yes, I know we've been talking since when? Since, I don't know, like 4 years, 5 years or something like that, and yes, it's interesting how the intention that we have is very clear, and then the time it takes to manifest that intention is, but this is something that I am learning. It's that process, we are in that process of transformation by just keep on doing it, and eventually it will, even if it doesn't happen, I mean, the process of the journey is just is just fascinating. There is just there is just such a learning journey, and I don't even know how to express myself on that topic. Not just learning, it's also the shifting that is happening in our whole spirit, body, and emotional, mind, everything. There is such a we came loaded, especially women. We came loaded with programs, and the transformation, the shifting, the clearing of the mental programs that we were conditioned in. This takes time. This doesn't happen like in a what you call this, that kind of. Anais, did you want to chime in?
Well, it's a lovely time, and I'm very grateful to be here now on the planet, because things are shifting, and they're going to shift even more rapidly this coming year and next year. The Christmas holiday, the interlude, is another massive wave of energy coming in, and it was so sweet. It was so sweet. So I'm very fortunate in that I've had a long time to work on the programs that women have a tendency to absorb, and I've gotten rid of most of them a long time ago. So I'm kind of more in an observer place right now, and very happy, very comfortable, and looking at the deeper levels of self-care, but also appreciating the sweetness of relationships. So my phrase for the new year is truth and reconciliation. I think I will be working with that energy on the planet. Last year I did a lot of global conscious co-creation. I worked with some healers around the world on the Ebola virus and some other things on CERN, on the CERN Hadron Collider. That all went very well. So it was fun, too. So I'm kind of in a place where structure has been last 3 years, and appreciating the day by day of that, and not being hard on myself, but just getting through it step by step.
Beautiful. Yes, I remember when you were sharing on your Facebook page, about what you were doing in those groups, the consciousness raising that you were spreading,
Yeah, well, we don't have 1 million people infected with Ebola right now, do we?
No.
Where are you, Anais?
I'm in Philadelphia, in the United States, East Coast.
Yeah.
So,
and that is, what I just kind of cannot help but say it, that a lot of those fear-mongering topics, Ebola or whatever, they are viruses put in the consciousness.
absolutely.
Create fear,
We call it fear porn. We call it fear porn in the United States. It's a form of pornography.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about that also during the summer. How those very subtle kind of things create that energy that then keeps us in a mental construct where we don't really dare go for all the potential that is at our disposal. And just this week, I chimed in at one point to the news. Not that I'm listening very frequently now to the news, but I chimed in and I fell on a program where they were talking about the terrorists and stuff like this. And immediately I felt that wave of fear come in. So I just turned off the TV. I said, no, because this is really what this this is the purpose of it, you know, to maintain us in fear and to maintain us in some kind of a darkness, kind of a, and then it's more difficult then to create when you are in that kind of an energy. So thank you for just kind of reminding me of that. That's such an important, you know, staying grounded and connected and centered in yourself and in your intentions, and then going for them at whichever pace, Heidi, you know, I could, it's, yeah.
Well, hey, Mary, don't you think, I think that the daily hygiene of last 2 years of recognizing the fear and having to do a form of hygiene, that's the equivalent to self-care. So no TV. I'm very rarely on my cell phone. I only use the computer for work and to watch YouTubes from around the world where people are focused on transformation. And it's become a well-developed habit, like eating well, is to really recognize when the fear signals are being sent and to just say, oh, no thank you, no thank you.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to mute myself again.
Okay. Who wants to come in? Sandra, would you like to unmute yourself and share with us?
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Sandra is in Canada.
Yeah, I had a slight emergency a few minutes ago. My ceiling started to leak.
Your what?
The ceiling.
Oh.
So obviously there's water coming from a shower upstairs or somewhere.
Wow.
That's what all the noise was about.
Okay.
So I'm feeling a little scattered right now.
Okay, well, it's okay if you.
But for 2016, one of the things that I feel very blessed because we've just found out that we're going to be grandparents of twins, and we had the opportunity to do quite a bit of traveling last year to visit family and friends, and that was good. You know, that was good to see all, you know, how the children have grown up and these things. You feel a feeling of comfort when you know that everybody's doing well. You know, yes, they have the ups and downs, but generally thriving. And so I feel blessed for that. And the twins on Christmas Day was a beautiful present. And now this year, what I'm doing is putting aside all the excuses and finally getting out there. And I'm going to be as simple as that. And we'll see where that goes.
Yes. That's, you know, that's the that seems to be a theme also. We talked about it. I remember we we had a conversation on this week, I think, about that. And the fear of judgment is often what keeps us not fully stepping out. At least that's been one for me, you know. And needing to still perfect myself and have a PhD in everything, you know, and I don't even have one, you know. So it's like enough of that, you know. There's everything I need to know is there, and let me just move on with it. And that's what I'm hearing you saying also. That's just, yeah. Great. Yona, are you? I think you sent there was some chat messages being sent, and
I'm okay. I can.
you okay?
I think.
Did
Can
you
you
want?
hear me?
Did you want to say something?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I had a problem to start, but I'm here now. I could hear you and at the introduction as well. Um, I'm really excited because things are manifesting really quickly. And I've been working with the new moon energies for and the full moon for quite some time now. And it feels that it's a case for me to let go and trust, um, and still having that sort of ego, old conditioning, and it's been taken away rather rapidly through different healing and people coming into my life. And I love the fact that Sandra said excuses, because I'm very good with health, like, oh no, I'm going through the menopause and this is happening. And then I just suddenly realize that I forget to just stop and ask for guidance and help, and do some self Reiki, or just asking, and the energy comes. So I'm feeling really blessed about that. And this year I want to find that contentment and peacefulness, and it's almost like a balance, because what I feel is I'm really, really excited and all these wonderful things are happening. My son's getting married, and I'm going to South Africa for my wedding anniversary. I can actually feel my dreams coming into manifestation. And then I'm like, oh, now ground it. And I think you mentioned that, Aline, it's grounding it and just being centered, balanced, and peaceful, rather than burning out by overexcitement. And realizing that people are starting to come into my life who really are inspirational. And it's as if I met this wonderful lady today who has got a PhD. She's traveling the world, and people are looking at her, and this is possibly a judgment and a reflection, as being a bit wacky, because she's so out there. And when she looks at me, it's like on a different level. We're just having a different conversation. I know that makes sense, but yeah. So I just feeling blessed, and I feel that when people are sharing their authenticity as they do so in this group, it really, really makes me feel stronger and giving me the courage to let go and really follow the divine path, and with relationships and joy, and just really let that happiness spread out. And just one more thing I'd like to share is, last year when we were celebrating New Year, I'm Scottish, and we celebrated New Year in Scotland, which was with my son, and I got really upset about the amount of homeless people who were on the streets. And I stopped to speak to quite a few, and I had a lot of guilt that was deep inside. Anyway, when I came home, I was sharing this with my son, and he said, well, do something about it. So the opportunity arose just before Christmas that somebody else did something about it and made it so easy for me just to put some packages together. And today, actually, I shared a post that one of the supermarkets is giving food out that's past its sell-by date, and then it transpires that other supermarkets are doing that as well. So, and I had actually voiced that. And I think what I'm starting to recognize is that when we hold that intention within us, it happens and it manifests in the world. And I think I knew this, but I'd forgotten it somehow because I was sad I was in a fear mentality. So that was really deep for me and also joyful. And now, instead of the conversations I'm having with people are that homeless people haven't necessarily got a Porsche around the corner, or people are starting to be more empathizing. So that makes me feel happy, peaceful, and as if I'm on purpose in some way, and not feeling that I have to go out there and make it happen. Really, just to, and I think that's what this year is about. Aline, you mentioned this in your email about just really going within and then taking the actions. So one of my things for this year is to actually take, when a thought comes in, to really make an attempt to take that action, not to start to analyze it and say, oh, I could do this, because I have so many thoughts come through. So if I get a call to contact somebody to do it, rather than say, well, why am I doing this? And trust. So peace and trust are my words, I think. And thanks for letting me verbalize that, because it's very powerful, I think, when we verbalize it together.
Yes, yes. And when you share this about the homeless people and how it inspired you to take action, and or through that thought something happens, etc. That was part of why I felt called myself, to get talking with more people, and not that there is a to-do list of ABC that this is what you need to do, but it's like in that different way of looking at people and at things, something shifts and changes. And I've been doing an experiment this week. I've realized that part of my own conditioning sometimes is to go and buy something, like to do something, I go and buy something, like, not that I'm a spender or anything like that, but that conditioning. And it's very often when I'm by myself, I realize I buy too much. So I have made an experiment this week. I said, okay, I'm not going to buy anything. I did the grocery for the week. I had food and all that, but I said, I'm not going to buy. And so many times I had like an inclination, okay, let me go out and get this. And I said, no, this is an experiment I'm making. Okay, I am not doing that. And I was, this whole, we talked also at one point in the fall, we had this conversation about money. I know Liz is not here. She could not make it. She's sending her thoughts. She had a problem and she couldn't join us at last. But we had this conversation about how we are conditioned to that whole money construct, And I had sent you some links, and I did read a text, and I will send you the link in my follow-up email. I will send you the link to it. It's a Cryon transcript of one of the channeling of Cryon on the light and the dark. And right now we have this, all those things that are happening in the world, the wars and all the dark stuff. It's that they're not, this dark energy is not going to let go easily. So it's fighting, it's fighting, and it's for us not to be manipulated by the fear, because that's how this energy has power. So the fear it keeps us separate, keeps us isolated. And when we can talk about those things and not be a victim to it, we can we have power. Then we have power. We have real power. And the one thing that I had never really thought of, but in that link, in that text, there is a link to a forensic accounting. You know, for people to sign like a petition, forensic accounting, like who is financing all those operations that create terror, or who is financing those wars, etc. Go and search. You know, let's kind of express our voice, our need to know. And this, you know, I thought, well, this is so inspiring, because instead of being like part of that victim, you know, it's helping transform and change, at least create awareness to that, you know. Like, I haven't signed it yet because it's just came across in the last couple of days. But those are the things that we can do. Those are the little things that we can do, you know. Ask for transparency about what is maintaining the energy in place.
That's such a great point, Aileen, because it's like we have layers of gauze over our eyes.
Yeah.
And we have to move one layer at a time, and every layer hits another structure, whether it's money, or for me, who are the people who are making millions and billions of dollars on weapons, right? Who are these people? And one layer of gauze off at a time. And for some people, it's a slower process because they're not prepared to really see everything as it is, right? It would be so shocking. But one of the small things I've done is, you know, in the United States, it's just bananas, where people are going crazy. So we have a presidential candidate who I worked for, Bernie Sanders. And I've decided that he's very clear about kind of the things that these kinds of accountings and the truth and the reconciliation in so many areas where the United States is just haywire. It's haywire, and it's really interesting to be in that, to be living inside of that. So one of the things that I decided to do was I'm just making a couple of videos every other day, and I'm posting them about why I am supporting Bernie, but I'm also suggesting that those of us who understand the importance of moving him forward against the establishment candidates is that we have the technology where I'm saying let's create a virtual get on the bus and all go meet him in Iowa for the first primary and make it a national potluck day so that we choose not to go to work, not to give our energy to the machine, not to give our energy to the beast, but to be very intentional, get online just like we're doing here and go and have conversations. But the intention is to be present for Bernie Sanders in Iowa and then go to the next state and the next state and the next state. Because if we don't make a stand, and it doesn't have to be dramatic or violent, but we need to do what we can do. And sometimes the not doing of something, the refraining, like you not going shopping, right? Mm-hmm. The refraining is just as important as an action of doing. So for people to choose not to go to work, not to give themselves away to those structures that are abusing them and hurting them may be an important opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And when it was interesting today, you know, you mentioned the two words, truth and reconciliation. Today I heard it in the context of Canada, that there is a commission also now in Canada, you know, for the abuse that happened for the original people in Canada. And it was done in South Africa also with great success, actually. That instead of having that potential, what do you call this, like a war between, between the people, it kind of avoided that. So it really is, if you want to talk more about that process, I would be curious, to be educated more about that. But it's definitely about speaking, our truth is also part of that process, rather than staying in the in the stuck status quo, kind of,
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be quiet and listen. Sure, other people have thoughts, feelings.
I could say something, not directly to this, but before there was, I watched a show of a group I'm part of, and there was an interesting discussion about trust. And as a comment I wrote, I think what we need in this century to really learn, and we also talked with Mark in the afternoon about that, is communication. Is really being able to not only talk to each other, but find a way to understand. And when you said the reconciliation, and this is only possible if it is possible that everybody can say what they need to say without blaming, without shaming, and so on, and the other person who is listening without feeling attacked or feeling the need to attack. So we need to learn a way of communicating where we are able to govern our own emotions, and this is mainly the feminine power teaching, which I was so excited about when I got to know it, in 2010. And this is really what the power is, when we can hold our emotions without shutting them down, and have them, let's say, not necessarily quiet. We don't have to stay like this, but be able to sort of have ourselves in the hands so that we don't impulsively react on the others, but give them the space to talk and to say what they need to say, even if they don't say it always in a correct way or in a good way. Be able to not feel hurt, which is really difficult, and be able then give a feedback which is, and I find it really, really, really difficult, a feedback which doesn't offend, or which is so, let's say, almost rational enough, so that there is no these hidden little things in between. That doesn't prevent the other to be hurt anyway, but you know what I mean, to find a clearer way of communicating and slowly get into a culture of clear communication, and not use language, this is my old topic, not use language for all other sorts of things instead of for communicating. It's not only language, it's also body language and so on. But I think this is the main task for the next 50 or so years for humanity.
It's that non-violent communication. That's what I'm hearing.
That is more than that, because non-violent communication is still often used for blaming other people, because non-violent communication is talking only about me. And it's not enough able to at least the practitioners I have got to know, they are not enough able to really go and feel and sense the other person. they think when they talk only about themselves, it's enough, but there is going too much blame still over. You know, we need a step more. That's my idea about it. Okay.
And I'd like to add something.
Yeah, go ahead, Sandra.
I talked to Aline earlier this week about this, and I think one of the pieces, because it's certainly not a straightforward issue, but one of the pieces that would help is understanding how we hold ourselves and our minds and our hearts. Do we hold ourselves as victims of the situation or as victors? I'm just saying victors because that's the opposite. I don't know what the appropriate word is. Because as soon as we feel something is being done to us, like this is happening because this was done to us, this is happening because the government did this is happening because the weather was this, you know, whatever it is, you're falling into the victim mentality, which is quite common for women. And so we, even if we weren't taught, then we teach ourselves to look at it from the other perspective. This has happened, yes, how are we dealing with it? And I think that will have a huge part to play with communication and with everything else.
Yeah, and for me, oh, excuse me. It's important that it's not only this has happened to me and so on, but to see what was my part with it. What did I do that these things happened? This is the main thing.
Yes, and you know, when you say that, there is all this language that we use, which is the old way of using language, which is not that language from the heart. It's a language from the mind. It's a language from the head, which has a lot of judgments and evaluation. And this is what creates the arrows that go out and that hurt the other person. And then, of course, when you send an arrow out, you know, you have 3 arrows coming back at you, so it hurts both ways. And then you don't have communication. Then you are in kind of a breakdown situation. So,
but I guess, I mean, what I'm saying is, if you're listening from the point of view of a victim, you will feel everything that's sent out is an arrow. You know what I mean? A person may be saying something completely. I mean, we all do, right? We put our filters on, and we hear something not what the other person is intending to say.
yeah.
And I think that victim thing will help in communication, because we'd be listening with a more open, not just ear, but heart. So the language plus that mindset and that heart set, those are all pieces.
Yes. So, yeah, Anais, you wanted to say something?
Well, Sandra, I think that's a very, very wonderful reminder, because what I have learned in my life, trying to pay attention, is that there's choice. There's always choice, and that one of the things that takes us out of the victim mindset is being aware that we have a choice. The moment we recognize that we have a choice, we stop being a victim. And I think that's powerful for women, because for the paradigm and the old programming is it steered us to not being aware or not sitting strong and standing up in we have choice. We always have choice.
Indeed.
And maybe with that, we just put on our spiritual bulletproof vest and say, no arrow is going to touch me, because I'm powerful.
Hello, Erica. I see you have joined us for the first time. Welcome. Erica, I've muted you.
I didn't know what the protocol is to talk. Oh, this echo.
You have to mute. Everybody mute yourself. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I can talk. As I was listening to the victim piece, I was thinking that even if someone is a victim, especially if they're coming from that victim mentality, the way I speak to that person makes a huge difference. And I can soften what I say by being aware, by their reaction. So you can reach the person even if they are feeling that way. And also, if someone reacts defensively, it might be a sign that they're very sensitive. So they pick up nuances of what you're saying that you don't even realize. Mm-hmm. So I just thought of another perspective on that.
And I just reminded me of something, because I had a conversation a few weeks ago, last year even, with somebody, and I hurt that person, and she sent me an email telling me, you judged myself, etc., and or in a way, and it's like, and of course the email hurt me back, and then I thought about it, because what did, and yes, I had a judgment about something, so it kind of, instead of it cutting the communication, I picked up the phone and I called her and acknowledged that I had a judgment, rather than judging her for having judged me, that I judged her. I mean, you never end then, So I just picked up the phone, and it kind of cleared the space for the situation. But we do that sometimes without even consciously judging. But
that's what I was saying. It's not even conscious.
It's not conscious. But then when the reaction comes, it's an opportunity to look at what we have sent out, or what even our thought pattern was, what we were thinking, or reflecting about, or not saying. Maybe sometimes just not saying something creates that energy in the space. So those are very subtle kind of little things to learn, and
like you just said, sometimes you say something and you're thinking an additional thing that would have made the other person feel good, but you don't say that additional thing.
Yeah.
And all they hear is that judgment that came out. So.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a whole new learning to communicate, and it's interesting, Heidi, that you brought this up, because we are communicating according to the programs we have been programmed with, and what we heard ourselves, the way we, and that takes it takes a lifetime to clean out, until we can have new systems and new codes that will be taught everywhere, in families and in schools. It takes us to do the work.
But we do have a brain that stores everything. So we have synapses and triggers to the past. So I don't think we can ever get rid of it, but we can build a lot on top of it that's positive.
Yeah, maybe rid of it is the wrong word, but definitely with awareness.
Right, that's what we can do.
We can make the adjustments, and we can create an alternative pathway.
Aline, I just want to add, and Erica, something there, because
just a question: should I mute as soon as you do that, or
it's better for the quality? But if you have a conversation, then don't mute yourself.
I was just going to say, it took courage for her to send the email. Otherwise, she could have just got mad. And then it takes courage to sort of sit back and think. If you had done your normal reaction that you might have done 20 years ago, let's say, because when we're younger, we tend, I'm not sure how you would have reacted, but you would tend to say, well, that's too bad, blah, blah, blah. Now you sort of said, well, let me think about that. All of those things take courage and a level of awareness that we can be wrong and we could have said something that might hurt the other person without us intending it, right? So all that's all the growth that we have done over the years. And if we can start teaching this, as you mentioned, in schools and families at an earlier stage, because long ago it used to be a sign of weakness to apologize, right? Then we can explain that wasn't the intention. But for us right now, going through the early stages of this, it's going to take a lot of courage to kind of go, oh, she may say something to me that will hurt me again, or she may not react nicely, or whatever, but we go forward anyway, because it's our intention to heal the situation. So that was good. That was good. Huh?
Yes. So I'm realizing the time. It's been an hour already, and just want to give you each a chance time to kind of say some closing thought, closing sentence for the hangout that we had today, and we can speak next time around the new moon in 2 weeks. I will see if I'll choose another date so Heidi can be there. If you're going to be teaching in 2 weeks, we can do that. So we have covered a broad topic today. Yes, go ahead.
In 2 weeks, we have a very interesting topic about sexuality by a woman. So I invite you to join us. Sexuality as in the role of in relationships and responsibility and so on. This promises to be very interesting.
On the Wisdom Factory, or on which one of your?
No, Wisdom Factory, and yeah, I can put the link in. It's a bit.ly/Wisdom Factory. There is the whole information.
Okay.
That sounds good. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think also because it's a woman talking about it, because about sexuality, often men have.
What do you mean? I know a lot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I heard her once in a talk, and I really liked it. So I invited her to this series. I can write it in the event page, or send the link to Aline, and you can send it.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
And I thank you very much. I'm glad that I was here. And if you
excuse me, what is her name?
Heidi.
Heidi is in Italy, Erica,
I'm just curious because that's my field, so I wanted to know if it was someone I knew.
Oh, the name of that person.
My name, and the name is Christiane Palmas.
Okay. Christiane Palmas.
Yeah.
Where is she from?
Thank you.
She is, I think US or Canada, I'm not sure actually.
I'm not sure either.
But not Europe.
Okay, thank you. Sounds good.
So Erica, how you just kind of popped in towards the end?
I've been very busy. I have a lot going on. I had a meeting and all kinds of things, and I came and opened my email and I saw an invite. They said, but I was wearing PJs, like I sit around like that. And then I said, no, you're going to be on the internet, so I had to run and change. So that's what happened. So, but I thought at least I can show up. I don't know how late it was or anything.
Thank you.
So glad I could come.
Great.
Nice to see the ladies that are in your group.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. All right. So Fiona, do you want to say some? You're complete?
Yes, it's been lovely to voice my intentions and gain more clarity by sharing it with the group and learn more as always. And yeah, so Happy New Year, everyone. Have a great one.
And I just see that Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Bonjour.
Lisa.
Oh, long-term feminine power group member, long time ago, right? Yes.
Yes.
Did you want to say something?
I'm here to listen. I mean, hi everybody. I'm going to try to stay a little bit. I have my baby sleeping right now, but she may wake up and I would have to leave at that point. But I just wanted to pop in and participate while everybody is asleep right now. So I'm just trying to not speak too much, but
So glad
yes, I'm happy to participate as much as I can.
We're actually completing the call right now, you know, so you just joined
Okay.
when I'm saying that we're completing the call, so that's why I wanted to give you the opportunity to say something, you know. So I'm really glad that you could make it, but you know, there might have been a miscommunication or a miscalculation on your part, you know, about
Okay, probably, okay.
But
okay, then so it's finished.
After I finish the recording, if you want to stay online, I would like to talk to you. Okay, so you can stay online. We can. Okay. So thank you, all the ladies who have showed up. I really appreciate, you know, because it's always difficult to have a hangout when you're all by yourself. So I'm always kind of a bit, you know, I mean, who is going to come, you know? And so many new people have come today because I've kind of dared open the circle and invite more people. So I'm all up to me, right? It's about engagement again, you know. So thank you so much. And, we'll speak again in 2 weeks. I create another event in around 2 weeks. You know, we'll look at and thank you very much. So I'm finishing.
Thank you, Eileen. Thank you.